Okay, I will be continuing the reading of my full-length novel slash screenplay, Backwoods, as part of the Monsters Saga in this video. Today we will be doing video number 8, and this will be, well, Act 4's 4th video. This will cover scenes 42 through 45 and pages 82 through 89. Now, I did misspeak in the last video. Video 6 was Act 4's second video, and I misspoke on the pages. I said 57 through 74. No, we covered pages. I started getting it right after that. It was pages 57 through 74 that made up the second video in the Act 4 series, video number 6. Video 7, Act 4's third video, covered pages 74 through 82, 8 pages. Well, today we're going to do 7 pages. We're going to do pages 82 through 89. They will be the longer portions of the pages, though. So, alrighty, let's get right to it with this video number 8. Well, we get right to scene number 42, which is an interior setting slash location. It will still be daytime and early afternoon, just like last video. In the last video, the group was heading toward the guest house as part of Byron's tour of the farm. Well, this is going to be continued from our last scene in video, and this is going to be, well, starting off with the front door to the Wade's guest house opening up and the group entering. The 2 dogs, G and Peppy, have been following the group, but they are denied entry to the guest house and thus forced to wait for the group outside. The guest house is by no means big and fancy, and it's not exactly neat and tidy either, but it raises no alarms, and there appears to be no cause for concerns. There are 2 main rooms to the Wade's guest house. The front room consists of a living room and a kitchen, all rolled into one. A bedroom with a bathroom and some closet space make up the back area. There are some boxes on the furniture and on the floor, quite a lot of clutter on the shelves and countertops, and a noticeable amount of dust coating everything in the front room of the guest house. There's also a musty smell, apparently some sort of stagnant odor lingering in the air, which could surely be aired out by opening up the windows for a little while. All in all the Wade's guest house really seems to need is a little spring cleaning and an airing out, and overall isn't in too bad of a condition. This setting slash location is going to be tied to the main setting slash location marked by the bold letter G from our synopsis videos. Again, A through D in the, well, end of the first video. And, well, everything from E on, settings pertaining to the Wades, and forward, that's going to be covered in the beginning of the second video. We move to character dialogue with Byron Wade addressing the Lasbys, spoken as if he is a little nervous and perhaps waiting to be judged after leading the group into the guest house. Well, folks, this is it. What do you think? Paulette, responding to Byron's question and being completely honest. Well, there's a little dust and some clutter, but nothing that can't be cleaned up or thrown out. All in all, this is a nice little place. Martin, still looking around while agreeing with Paulette. It is cozy. Paulette, it seems to have a little bit of a musty odor from sitting for so long with the windows closed. Could we perchance open up the windows and air this place out just in case we do decide to stay the night? Byron, sounding delighted. Sure, no problem. I'll open 'em up right now. Help me out, boys. Spaz. All right, let's air this place out. We now pause for character actions. Byron, Spaz, and Boz begin the process of opening up all of the windows in the Wade's guest house while the Lasbys look around, soon moving toward the back room, the bedroom. We now move on to scene 43, which will be another interior setting / location, also connected to our main setting / location marked by the bold letter G. We're changing rooms, so we're changing scenes, but we're not changing settings. We're just moving to a different part of the setting. Alright, but it's gonna still be daytime, still early afternoon, still continued from the last scene, and we are inside the Wade family's guest house. Again, as previously mentioned, there are two main sections to the Wade's guest house. The front room consists of a living room and a kitchen all rolled into one, and then a bedroom, a bathroom, and some closet space make up the back area. As one enters into the bedroom, the bathroom is the first room on the left. The little closet, which is also on the left as one enters, is the second and smaller of the two attached areas. As for the bedroom area, the bed is small, with only a twin mattress, but it is made and looks clean enough to sleep on. The bed's headboard rests against the back wall. Like the Wade's main house, the guest house is facing in an easterly direction, looking down toward the bottom of the mountain. There are two windows in the bedroom and a stained window in the bathroom. As for the bedroom windows, facing the bed, there's a window on the back wall just above the headboard and a window on the adjacent wall to the right with a dresser beneath it. The Wades stay in the front room of the guest house as the Lasbys enter the bedroom. The Lasbys immediately notice that it looks even nicer than the rest of the place. The Lasbys even find themselves suddenly considering whether they should maybe take Byron up on the offer to stay a night in the guest house. But what they really want to know is what Byron has planned for after the tour of the farm. Just one night. What could it hurt? We begin our dialogue with Paulette, casually addressing Martin. The bedroom looks nice. It really isn't a bad setup. Martin, casually responding to Paulette, do you want to stay a night? Paulette, I don't know. What do you think? Martin, sounding indifferent, it's up to you, dear. Paulette, trying to be practical, let's find out what all Byron has planned for the day and see how things go before we make any commitments. Martin, agreeably, Sounds like a plan. Paulette, all right. We now pause for character actions. Byron looks up at the Lasbys with a grin as he enters the bedroom to open the rear windows. Boz and Spaz follow Byron into the room. Byron, addressing the Lasbys as he heads toward one of the guest house's bedroom windows to open it. How do you folks like the room? Martin, in response to Byron's question. It's nice. Paulette, also in response to Byron's question. Yes, it looks very cozy. Byron. The bed is small, but it's comfortable. This place really doesn't get used a whole lot. Pause for character actions. Martin and Paulette politely smile and nod their heads. Byron notices that Spaz and Boz now have the other window in the room open. Byron, again. Well, that does it for opening up all the windows. If we're done in here, I'll finish showing you around outside. Martin. Okay. Paulette. Yeah, sure. We now pause for character actions, and the group exits the bedroom and the scene ends. We now move to scene 44, which is going to be an exterior setting / location pertaining to the Wade family's farm, the exterior, the entire outside of the Wade family's farm. And it's going to be marked from the main setting / location with a bold letter E. Get that out of the way now. Alright, it's going to be daytime, early afternoon, continued from last scene, and the storyline picks back up with the group exiting the Wade's guest house and making their way toward the shed. The dogs, G and Peppy, now rejoin the group. The shed is filled with nothing but clutter, trash, and junk, so Byron decides to forgo opening up the shed door to show off what's inside. He even seems a bit ready to finish up the tour. Byron is ready for a big adventure, or a bigger adventure is what it says. And he's hoping that what he has planned will be just the thing to trigger the Lasbys' adventurous spirits and convince them to stay the night. Byron did notice that the Lasbys seemed to like the guest house. He also noticed that the kids seemed to be getting along and warming up to the couple, and that the Lasbys seemed to be enjoying themselves around the kids. Byron is optimistic about the Lasbys choosing to stay the night. We begin our dialogue with Byron Wade. After exiting the Wade's guest house and leading the Lasbys to the shed, he now informs the Lasbys. This is the shed over here. Spaz letting everybody know. Yeah, I like the shed. There's all sorts of fun things in there. Byron, addressing Spaz with his first sentence, then addressing the Lasbys with his second and third sentence. Yeah, well, not today, boy. I've got a lot of stuff piled up in there, so I won't open the door. That's another thing I like about this place. Martin, compelling Byron to elaborate further. What's that? Byron, we have a lot of storage space. Martin, nodding his head. Oh. Paulette, replying to Byron. That's good. Byron, next, I'll show you folks the chicken coop. We pause for character actions. Spaz starts to make sounds like a chicken, imitating their clucking. Back to dialogue with Byron Wade, ignoring Spaz and still addressing the Lasbies. Come on, it's right over here. Martin spoke in apprehensively. Okay. We pause for character actions. Byron starts toward the chicken coop, which is located not far from the shed. Spaz continues to make sounds like a chicken and suddenly begins to race toward the coop. The dogs join him in the jaunt, and they even seem to join in by getting a bit riled up and barking a bit before settling down as they approach the coop, beating both Spaz and the other humans there before turning around to see what's taken everybody else in the group so long. Paulette glances over at Martin, and they exchange an amused look while following Byron and Spaz over to the chicken coop. Boz is still lingering with the Lasbies. As they approach the chicken coop, a horrible odor hits their nostrils. The chicken coop smells like rancid feces mixed with just a hint of death. Paulette, noticing the odor. Ugh! Martin, also reacting to the smell. Whoa, that's one thick, raunchy odor. Byron, ho 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 ho. I have to go through this here chicken coop every day to collect eggs and every once in a while pick up a dead chicken or two. Did you know that if a chicken gets wounded and the other chickens around it sense blood on the injured one, the other chickens will more often than not kill the injured chicken? Martin, is that so? Byron, yup. Paulette, sounding astonished but looking a bit grossed out. So, the other chickens smell the blood on the injured chicken and that's why they kill it, right? Byron, spoken confidently enough but looking a little confused. Maybe. I think it's that they see red. Byron, again, shrugging his shoulders as the Lasbies silently nod their heads before continuing by explaining. Really, I think weakness is just seen as a detriment to the flock. An injured and bleeding bird can attract predators and put them all at risk. Same with a sick or weakened bird. It's just their way. They're chickens. Martin, how many are in there? Byron, well, we used to have a few dozen. Probably about 50 of them at one point, actually. But right now, well, I'd say we probably have a couple dozen in there. I couldn't say for sure. These are hens. We do have a couple of cocks that we let run loose. You'll probably see them running round here eventually. Martin, knowing Byron has just attempted to tell another bad joke and attempting to clarify for his wife, don't worry, honey, he means roosters. Paulette, sounding slightly irritated and a little brash, I know what he means. Byron, we only raise the chickens for the eggs and to feed ourselves. If we were contracted by one of those big corporations, this whole coop would be filled with chickens, but that's just not for us. We're simple folk. We don't need all the hassle that comes with signing a contract with a big corporation. Paulette, why do you use a coop? Why don't you just let the chickens roam free range? They don't seem to have an outdoor area. Byron, We let the roasters run around 'cause there are only two of them, and they always come back to the hens. But if we let the hens roam, well, put it this way, first there'd probably be no crops left for us people, and then they'd just take off with the cocks in tow. Pause for character actions. Martin laughs at that one, understanding Byron's take on things. Byron, however, has failed to see where Paulette was coming from, and Paulette is about to open her mouth to try again when Martin shoots a cautionary glance her way. Martin, now speaking up and addressing Byron before Paulette has time to reconsider his cautionary glance and say something for herself. Well, this sure is a nice place you have here. Byron: thank you. We really like it. It's big, and there's always something to do. It's a lot of hard work, keeping up the place, but the land really does take care of us. Martin, addressing Byron with his first sentence and Paulette with the second and last. That's great. Isn't that great, Paulette? Paulette: it sure is good to see the old farm. I heard a lot about this place these last few months, and I'm just so happy to finally be here. We now pause for character actions. The dogs start barking at the chickens again, and Spaz immediately joins in. The barking will soon die down again, to cease at a point during Byron's dialogue prior to Martin's next line. Byron, ignoring Spaz and the dogs and speaking up while continuing to address the Lasbys. Well, we're glad you made it out this way. And that pretty much does it for the tour of the farm. But if you folks have some time, I still have something else I want to bring up. We have a nature trail that leads along the side of the mountain for a bit of a ways before it slopes downhill and leads to an open valley with a crystal clear blue water lake in the middle of it. It's quite the sight. I'd be more than happy to take you there if you folks are up to a good, long, healthy hike. Martin: how long does it take to get to this place? Byron: it takes a good hour to get there, another hour to get back, and you'll want to spend some time there, too. The water is perfect for swimming this time of year, and I know where a few fruit trees are along the way. Peaches and berries are in season. Have you ever tried a western peach? Martin: I don't think so. Paulette: nope. Byron: you don't know what you're missing out on till you do. Spaz: eat a peach, eat a peach. And we now pause for character actions. Byron, Martin, and Paulette pretty much ignore Spaz, but Paulette looks down at Boz, who is right beside her, practically attached to her hip, with a warm smile. Martin notices Paulette staring down at the young child with affection and smiles himself. Martin, back to dialogue: well, what do you say, Paulette? Do you want to make this our adventure for the day? Paulette, addressing Martin while still staring down at young Boz: yeah, sure. I don't see why not. Martin, addressing the entire group with the first sentence, and then solely addressing Byron with the second. Then it's settled. We'll join you for the day. Byron: all right. Spaz: yes, we're going to the lake. Boz, overlap line: Yay, the lake. Spaz, overlap line. Yeah, roof, roof. We now pause for character actions. Exterior. I'm going into the next scene, sorry. Alright, the two dogs, G and Peppy, join the group in celebration and start barking before the scene fades to black. And yes, whenever we pick up in the next video, we will be doing... Oh, I'm supposed to do that in this video, aren't I? Alright, our next scene, 45, exterior, daytime, mid-afternoon now, continued from last scene, but after a brief time lapse, we are now met with an overhead shot of the two fields and the path in between, heading off into the forested mountain. We see the present group, dogs included, walking down the path and entering the woods. Before this quick clip fades out, perhaps zoom in on the mountain's nature trail and the woods, and then pan back and up as need be to include the mountain in its entirety and enormity in the background. The sky almost an emerald blue color with fluffy white clouds filling parts of it, just framing the mountain's peak. And this short sequence is meant to speed things along while still detailing the group entering the woods to start their trek, this hike to the lake. This will be in conjunction with the main setting / location marked in bold with letters both E and F, since we are entering the woods. Really, this is going to be shot from the E perspective, so imagination. We can use E and F in conjunction here if we would like. Alright, and in the next video we will pick up with scene 46, which will be an exterior setting / location and will be the woods, which will be in conjunction with the main setting / location marked with the bold letter F. But alright, that'll still be daytime, mid-afternoon, and continued from the last scene, but after a brief time lapse. Alright, for now, thank you very much. Alright.